And let's start with the unit 4 today. Okay, it mainly deals with communication, human resource accounting, and industrial relations. Okay, so let's start with the first subtopic, that is communication. Okay, and here under communication we need to study, or the content of the syllabus is, first of all, meaning of communication, and next communication process, the process of communication, next barriers to effective communication, and types of communication. Types of communication. Okay. So to start with, what is communication? First, so we'll start with the meaning and then the process. So what is the meaning of communication? It is exchange of the information. Okay. So if you want the communication to happen, there are two people involved in it. One who is the sender, who wants to exchange some information or send some information to the other person, who is called as receiver. Okay. So it is exchange of information. Exchange of information. So who are the people involved here? From sender to the receiver. Okay. Now sender, how he is sending the information? Okay. With the help of something called as channel, some channel. Okay, so if we want to quickly look at the process of the communication, this is how it looks. Okay, sender sends the information to the receiver with the help of or through some channel. Okay, so that is the meaning of communication, and why it is needed, why proper communication is needed, or why proper communication is needed, and why they have kept this content in your HRM syllabus. Okay. How important it is to know about the communication. What are the problems that would arise if there is no proper communication? Okay. For example, I want to convey you something. Okay. During these COVID times, the global pandemic, I want to convey some important information about the academics of your college, academics of your course. Okay. If I don't use proper channel or proper language, proper means, okay, then you might get it wrong. Okay. So there should always be proper channel of communication for the things to get received properly. Okay. And there are many things that are causing problem, or that are affecting the communication. There are some people who are very good at technical stuff. Some students, they are very good at technical subjects, but they fail to reproduce it in the exam, okay, because they fail to express it. And there are some students who are very good orators. Some students, some people, they are very good in talking. They express themselves very nicely. Okay. So here, since this subject is human resource management, and here it is simply dealing with the humans and human emotions. So one should know what is communication, how the things happen here. Okay, what are the different channels? That's very important. Okay, whom to address with what? How to talk with your superiors, or how to talk with your juniors, how to talk with the subordinates, what is the corporate language, what is informal or what is informal communication and what is formal communication. Okay, what is oral communication and what is verbal communication. Okay, so there are so many things involved in this. First, let's start with the process of the communication. There is a simple block diagram. Let me draw this first and then we can start. Communication process, or simply we can put as process of communication or process of interpersonal communication. Okay, there is a block diagram. Let me draw this. Here it starts with the sender who is sending the message or sending the information. Encodes intended meaning and transmits. Through a proper channel. So next is the channel, as I have told. Sender sends the information or the message through a channel. So what are the various channels? First, verbal. Verbal, that first one. Oral, written, electronic, next non-verbal, here what all we can list under non-verbal? Body language, tone of voice and touch. Tone of voice, and touch. Okay. So next is receiver. So what happens at this end? perceives, hears, sees, feels, decodes, decoding the message that has come from the sender, ascribes the meaning, and next response. Here idea, feeling, or action. Okay. So once this happens, so when the receiver, from the receiver end, when there is no reply, it becomes one-way communication. Otherwise, if he replies, then it will be again exchanging the ideas, feelings, action. And again, some channel he uses. Here the receiver responds, decodes, and perceives. Hears, sees, and feels. And again, here if there is no reply, that will be your end of communication. So in all of this, there will be something called as noise. So this is the block diagram of the communication process. If you closely look into it, it has got three categories here. One is sender, channel and receiver. Okay, so what exactly the sender does? The communication is originating from him, means he wants to tell something to the receiver. He wants to express something. Okay, what he wants to express? His ideas or his feelings. Okay, next. To send this, whatever is originating from his mind, how he has to send it, what he does? He encodes them. Okay, encodes means, encoding here it means intended meaning. Okay, so he has to find out the proper meaning, or he has to frame correct sentences so that the intended meaning has to be properly delivered. Okay, so for example, I want to tell you something, like you take the example of, I want to tell you that there will be no class tomorrow. Okay, or I'll be on leave tomorrow, so there will be no class. That is the feeling or idea. That is a thought. Okay, so I want to express it. So how I have to send that message to you? I have to frame a certain sentence which actually depicts the proper intended meaning. I cannot just put it as there will be no class. Okay, so when there will be no class, how we are going to understand? Okay, so the proper meaning, all the details should be there. That is encoding. Whatever the thought that comes in your mind, you have to put it in a proper word. Okay, proper, you have to encode the intended meaning. Then has to transmit it. Transmitting means sending it. Okay, passing it. So how he transmits it? Through some channel. Okay, so there is a thought that is originating from my head, from my mind. I have to encode it with the proper sentence, proper dialogue. Then I use some channel to transmit it. So what are the different channels? Okay, there are some verbal channel, there are some non-verbal channels. Okay, so what comes under verbal? Oral communication, written communication, electronic communication. Verbal communication is the one which is very effective. Okay, because we are expressing everything in words, not in symbols. Okay, or some signs. No, here we are properly using certain language. It might be of any language. Okay, we are framing this proper sentences in the verbal communication. We are using the language. So here oral communication is, as all of you know, it is saying it, orally telling it to somebody. Written communication, it may be through an email, okay, through a notice on the notice board, or just now there are so many means of written communications. Okay, then electronic, it is your emails, your WhatsApp messages, okay, your group messages, some chats. Okay, so all these things. Here we are using various verbal channels. Here second type of channel is non-verbal. So you might have heard or you might have experienced it. See, first let's see what are the non-verbal channels. Body language, tone of voice and the touch. Okay, so all these three also are very important, but the sender should properly understand them. Sometimes people may get confused when we used to communicate something with these. Okay, body language, for example, body language and tone of voice. For example, I come to your class and I tell you, okay, good morning, today we'll start communication. Let's discuss about communication. Okay, if with this body language and with this tone of voice, if I start the class, how you perceive it as the sender? how you perceive it? Yes, you will understand that madam is not in a mood to take the class, or madam is not well, ma'am is not keeping well. Okay, and you will also start getting bored. But if I come to class with a good body language or good in an enthusiastic way, if I come and start, good morning all, today we are going to start with the communication process. Let's discuss communication. Okay, if I change the tone of voice and my body language, then it will, you will understand that, okay, it's going to be a good class. It's going to be, we are going to enjoy this class. Okay, because there is energy. I am transmitting energy through my words, through my actions. Okay. So, body language and tone of voice also is very important. So, one funny example, you cannot go to your parents and say that, mom and dad, I have come first rank. I am the rank holder. Okay, no, you cannot say that, right? You cannot say it in that manner. Okay, you should say it with full of happiness. That the tone of voice will be very different when you say that, and your body language will show the other person that you are happy. Okay, you cannot say happy stuff, happy things with a body language which sends a message that you are unhappy. Okay, so, and one more thing, touch. I think you all know the bad touch, good touch. Okay. So one best example for this type of communication would be with the small babies. Okay, small babies, they cannot talk, they cannot hear. Okay, they don't know how to talk, but they'll understand. Their way of communication is by the touch. By the mother touch, they'll express their whatever, if they want to eat food, if they want food, if they want to sleep. Okay, with the help of this touch, they will, or when the mother touches the baby, they get their communication channel is the touch. Okay. So next, once the sender chooses the channel and choosing the proper language, proper sentences, then the receiver, he receives it. Okay, after receiving, after listening to the voice, or after reading the mail, or after reading the letter, or after reading the notice, okay, after seeing the body language, how he is going to perceive it. Okay, first he perceives it, that is, either he'll hear it or see it or feels it. Hear it means, obviously it is a oral communication. Sees it, it's a written communication or electronic communication. Feel is, he can feel the touch. Okay. Next, once he perceives it, next he has to decode the meaning. Okay, decoding here is, I think all of you are from IT branches, you know decoding, encoding, ascribes the meaning. See here, the sender, he encoded his thoughts in a particular format. Okay, the receiver, he has to decode it in the similar manner. Okay, when it is going to happen? When there is a proper channel used. Okay, so he decodes the message, that is ascribes the meaning, and then responds. Okay, how he is going to respond? Again with some idea, feeling and action. Okay. Now for example, I will tell you, your third IA is, or your internal assessment is scheduled next week. Okay, this is the thought that has originated from my head, and I send this message to you with the oral communication, oral channel. I will tell you in the class. Okay, you heard it, you perceived it, you decoded it, and now you have to respond. How you are going to respond? Idea, feeling or action. Either you will say action, either you will say okay ma'am, yes ma'am. Okay, and then if you want to reply, okay, then you are going to ask me that what is the portion, what is the syllabus for the internal assessment, that is the reply. Okay, but in case if you already know the syllabus content, okay, portions, then there will be no reply, or you will just say yes and stop. That time it becomes one-way communication. You have to reply, say yes, or ask other questions regarding your syllabus and all. Okay, if you reply, then it will be again idea, feeling or action. Either you will say yes or you will tell your idea or your express your feelings. Next, encodes. Again here encoding. Here I have not written here the exact meaning. Here encodes is intended meaning. Okay. Now I have told you your internal assessment is scheduled next week. Okay. If you keep quiet, then that is end of communication. One-way communication, because you have not replied. If you are going to reply, either it will be yes ma'am. Next, you want to ask what is the syllabus content. Then you have to encode it. Okay, you have to frame a proper sentence, that is intended meaning, and transmit it through the channels again, through the or replying to the sender. Okay, so again here same channels, oral, written, electronic, all these verbal, non-verbal communication channels. You are going to use these channels and send it back. Okay. Now, if this message reaches here, then again the sender, he has to respond the whatever he is feeling, action or the idea, decode it. Okay, he wants to decode it. Here you have encoded some message and send it to the sender. He has to decode it with the proper meaning. Okay, means you have asked me what is the syllabus content. I should be able to, okay, decode it and reply, perceive it and reply. Okay, if I don't reply, then that is the end of communication. Okay, and if I am going to reply, then again I am going to express it with the help of some channel, encode the meaning and send it back. Okay, like that, this is a cyclic process. Okay, so in all this there will be some troublemonger. Who is he or who is she? That is noise. Noise is something that always hampers the communication. Noise doesn't mean that it's only some sounds that are happening in and around. Okay, it may be anything. Okay, it may be something that is happening inside your mind. That is also called as noise. Maybe you are not paying the attention required. Okay, that time you may fail to decode what the sender is telling. Okay, it happens so many times, happens in the class, right? We teachers are telling something and there are some students who are lost in their ways and they'll be thinking something. Okay, that is also called as noise. Then they fail to decode the proper message the teacher wants to send you. Okay, so there will always be noise affecting all the three people here, all the three terms here. Okay, if the sender wants to send some message and if he is thinking about something, okay, then he may fail to encode it properly. He may fail to encode it properly. And similarly, during this, you are writing some email, some disturbance is there, you fail to write it properly. Like that, noise, it troubles everywhere. Okay, so this is the process of communication. I hope you have understood this. If in your exam this question is asked, you have to draw this block diagram and then explain it. Okay. So next is, as we are talking about the noise, there are different types of noise. We can put it as barriers for effective communication. Okay, so let's see what are the different barriers for effective communication. What actually stops or what actually disturbs, what actually hampers a proper interpersonal communication. Okay. Again, these communication barriers, we can divide them into three categories. Let me list down them. Barriers for effective communication. So first barrier, sender related barriers. First one would be communication goals. Communication skills, interpersonal sensitivity, differing frames of reference, non-verbal signals, thinking, either or thinking, fear, sender credibility. Okay, so let's look at them one by one. Different barriers at the end of sender. First one is communication goals and communication skills. Here communication goals is what exactly the person wants to convey. Okay, that we can consider as goal. Here if you take the example of a lecture or a teacher, what exactly he wants to convey or what exactly he or she wants to uh, tell it in the class, what amount of portions the person or the teacher wants to complete in the class. Okay, that is one example for your communication goals. Okay, and who are the people involved in it. Okay, so what happens when it is properly not known? What happens when it's properly not known? Okay, you end up telling some other thing or you end up sending half message or message which is not complete information. You will end up passing the information which is incomplete. Okay, so next is communication skills. So as I've already told, there are communication skills is not just knowing the language. Okay, it is about how you express it. Somebody who may be very good at English language, but if that person doesn't know how to speak, okay, then it's a lack of communication skills. That is also the barrier. Okay. One example would be there are some students, some teachers who are very good at the subject, but they fail to express it or communicate it properly because they have poor communication skills. Here, when we talk about communication skills, it is not just about the language or how you talk. Okay, uh, it includes your body language, your tone of voice. Okay, how empathetic you are towards a person when you are talking. Okay, and you should know how to talk with different set of people. I cannot talk in the same tone with the HOD as I am talking with the students. Okay, I cannot talk with the, or you guys cannot talk in the same tone as you talk among yourselves. Okay, there is some proper protocol you have to maintain, some certain tricks you have to maintain. Okay, and the body language. Okay, that is also very important. Initially, I have given one example. Okay, a teacher enters the class and how his body language and tone of voice is going to affect the entire 1 hour of teaching. Okay. So that also is one more barrier. Next is interpersonal sensitivity. This is again one of the very important barrier. Most of the times it happens. Okay, there are some people whom you consider are very important. Okay, they may not be considering you as important, but you consider them as very important. When they say something to you, you quickly grasp it. But there are some people whom you consider as unimportant or not so important. That time what you do, what you end up receiving half information from them. That is called as interpersonal sensitivity. How sensitive you are towards each other. Okay. You might have experienced it in your friends group. There is a certain group which you don't have much sensitivity towards each other. Okay, and in some group who you are very close with. That time what happens? The communication happens properly. Okay, for example, if you take the example of any organization or industry, how the things happens there. The supervisors, usually the foremen, how they speak with their shop floor workers. Okay, do they have sensitivity towards each other? Okay, and how the manager comes and tells to you, you are going to grasp it properly, like that. There are various ranges of this interpersonal sensitivity. Okay, so if there is no interpersonal sensitivity, then the communication doesn't happen properly. Okay, if this factor is there, then you will exactly catch the emotion with which the person is telling you something. Okay, it's all about your emotional capabilities, how you connect with the person. Okay, next is differing frames of reference or differing, you can put it as differences of opinion. How you are going to take the information wrongly, even though it is expressed properly. Okay, if you have a difference of opinion, then there will obviously, you will take it wrong. Even the other person is telling the truth or telling the proper stuff to you, proper things to you, you are not going to take it the way he wants to tell, he wants to send it to you. Okay, so that is difference of opinion. Non-verbal signal. This is one of the major barrier here. Most of the times what happens in the industries, there will be machines running. Okay, they use some non-verbal signals for to communicate some stuff while the machines are running. Okay, there is high chance that people may take it wrong. Okay, or people may not get it properly. See here what happens now. If there are some students who are talking among themselves while the class is running. Okay, I throw a chalk at them. Okay, so I didn't tell anything. I'm just furious. My face is filled with anger, and I just throw the chalk piece at them. Then they keep quiet. Okay, so which channel I have used? Non-verbal channel. I have signaled them, don't talk. Okay, because they are talking, they got it properly. Okay, same thing I'll do it with some other fellow who is paying attention to the lecture. I'll throw the chalk at him. What he'll understand? He'll be confused, right? What I'm going to, or what I'm trying to tell him. He'll not be able to get it properly, right? So, non-verbal signals, when it is properly used, then only the other person can understand or get the information in a correct manner. Okay. Usually, see, one day-to-day example would be when you are driving a four-wheeler. Okay, you will be sending the signals. You will be talking to the other drivers who are coming from the from the opposite side. For example, if you want to go first, there is a traffic, then you are going to dip the light. Okay, it means that I am going first. You wait. Okay, and sometimes you just make some signal with your hand, symbol with your hand. Okay, you go first, I'll go later, like that. These are all non-verbal signals. Okay, sometimes there are chances that the other receiver will not decode the signal properly. That time what happens? Accidents happen while driving. Okay, or in the industry there might be some accidents. Okay, the machines are running, you are telling something, you are signaling something, but the other person, he takes it in a different manner, he decodes it in a different manner, and he does something else. Okay, then there will be small accidents that are happening on the shop floor. Okay, so next this one, either or thinking. Okay, the sender who wants to send the information, he himself will not be very confident about the message he is sending it. Very confident about, he will not be confident about the information he wants to send it. That is either or, he will be in dual minds. Either this is correct or that is correct. We will do either this or that. Okay, when there is ambiguity in the sender's mind itself, then the information he is passing, it will not be proper. Okay, that is also one of the barriers involved with the sender. Next, fear. Okay, most of the people, some of the students, they will be having fear. Fear is stage fear, we say commonly. Okay, some people they get scared to go on the stage and talk. Okay, and there are some other fear factors involved in this. If I say this, what the other person is going to do? Okay, if I tell my dad that I want $1,000, what he is going to do? You are scared to ask. Okay, and if I want to, if I go to the manager and tell these are the problems I am facing while in the working environment. Okay, what he is going to tell? What are the actions he is going to take? Is he going to take an action against me? Okay, so all these are fear factors. Fear of losing their jobs, or fear of getting some action against them. So all this fear. And some people, they have fear of, okay, what if I pronounce it, or what if I put it in wrong sentences? Okay, I don't know the language, so what if I put it in a wrong format, or what if I put it in a wrong sentences? That is also the fear in the senders related. Next is sender's credibility. Okay, this is also one of the important things, and also it acts as barrier when it is not there. Credibility is what? Authenticity. Okay, if I tell it in the class that tomorrow there will not be any class because I am on leave. Okay, now I am the sender, I have all the credibility to tell that there will be no class. Then what happens? The information is received by all of the students properly. But in case one of your classmates tell you in the WhatsApp group, tomorrow there will be no HRM class because ma'am will be on leave. What happens then? The receivers or your friends who are in that WhatsApp group, they may not perceive it properly, or they will be doubtful about it because they don't trust, or they are doubtful that whether it's correct or not. They'll doubt about the correctness of the information. Okay, so sender's credibility is always very important. The person who is credible for that particular post or that particular instance only can send the information properly. Okay, so these are the sender related barriers. So to overcome with these barriers or with these loopholes, what one has to do? Okay, there is a list of things which can help you overcome with this barrier. Okay, let me just I will write here strategies to overcome the barriers or the sender barriers. Goals, language, empathy, and for the fourth one it is, we can relate them here, credibility, feedback, face-to-face communication, redundancy, trusting climate. Okay, so here to overcome with this barrier, the sender can have proper goals, proper predefined goals, okay, for his communication as a base. For communication skills, if one has a poor communication skills, then he can improve his language always. That is the solution. Next, for interpersonal sensitivity, one can develop empathy towards the other person. Okay. So what do you mean by empathy? There are two things, sympathy and empathy. So what is sympathy? Sympathy is, there are some people, or there is a person who is lying on the road, he met with an accident, he is bleeding. You stand there and you crib about it. Okay, uh, uh, you feel for him. Okay, it shouldn't have been happened to him. Okay, so you feel for him. That is sympathy. You are being sympathetic towards that person. But empathy, what it is? You move forward and you move forward to help him. Okay, you call an ambulance and you shift him to hospital. That is empathy. Okay, empathy is always action based. Okay, so you are going to show some empathy towards the person you are talking to build the interpersonal sensitivity. You are making the other person feel that you are close to him, you are empathetic towards him. Okay, you want to have a conversation with him. You being nice to him or her, whoever you are talking to. Next is differing frames of reference. Okay, that time to overcome with that, credibility. You should hold credibility. You should be credible in whatever you are telling. You are telling something, you want to send particular information. You should be very confident about it, and you should hold the credibility of the message or information you are sending. For example, I have given the example of a class. The student, your friend, tells you there will be no class tomorrow because ma'am will be on leave. Okay, the other students, they are doubtful about it. Then how you can be develop credibility towards it? No, madam has sent a message to me as I am the CR. So here is the message. So this is the information she wanted to pass on to all of you. Okay. So he holds some credibility of that message, that the others can believe him. Others can get the proper information. Next is non-verbal signal. For that, you can have face-to-face communication. Instead of using some non-verbal signals, you can talk to the person face to face. Okay. And for difference of opinion, feedback also is one of the strategies to come up or to overcome with the barrier. Okay. Next, redundancy and trusting climate. Redundancy is repeating the information. To overcome with the fear of talking, the fear of expressing something, you can redo it. You can do it again and again. Then you will be one fine day you will be very confident about talking about something or expressing your views on something. That is redundancy. Redoing it, repeating it. Next, trusting climate. That is related to the credibility. Okay. Sender, he can increase his credibility by creating the trusting climate, trusting environment around him. Okay. So these are the various sender related barriers and the strategies to overcome from these barriers. Okay. There are two more types of barriers, which are situation related barriers and barriers that are concerned with the receiver. Okay. There are mistakes or there are loopholes not only from the sender but also with respect to the channel which you are sending the information with, and also with the receiver, how he is going to perceive it. Okay, that we shall see it in the next class. Hope you have understood the process of communication properly, various factors or the players in the communication process, different barriers and the strategies to overcome with those barriers. Okay, thank you.